Alrighty guys, so here we are for PSBL Week 8, Week 10 of... I just said it. But anyway, we have the New York Metagross taking on the Kansas City Kartanas to start off this week. And now, as you can see, this is not how I usually do things like this. Usually I have the actual battle, and I show you guys the battle, go through with you with the battle. But with Lucy starting up that plays of the week, I just find it very repetitive to show you guys every single battle of that week, and Kyle, or Lucy, excuse me, to show you every plays of plays of that week. It just showing you the same plays twice. So I'm gonna change it up a little bit. I want you guys to tell me what you think. Please tell me what you think about this. If you don't like it, let me know. I can take any criticism you want. If you like it, great. If you want to help out, even freaking better. Because this actually took me a long time to do, and it's gonna take me a long time to do just 1 week. So anyway, let's get right into it, where we have, again, the New York Metagross taking on the Kansas City Kartanas. And I'll move it over just a little bit over here so you can see Mike's stuff as well. Now I realize something. Before I actually start, I don't know if Azelf actually has 9 kills. I'm not entirely sure. It might, and I just wasn't paying attention. But that could also be an error on my part. If you guys see an error, do not solve it yourself, please. I was going to, sometime either this weekend or next weekend, go into every single battle and go through all of the kills and everything. And I will update all of the kill leaders and their pages and everything. I will do that coming up. So please, 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 don't touch something that you think is a mistake. Let me know. Alright, so that's basically all the announcements before I get started into these. This is a very back and forth battle in my opinion. It was very enjoyable to watch. At one point I thought Mike was gonna win, like pretty big, and then Hoobie did something, and it just turned it around. At one point I thought Mike was gonna get a 3-0, and then Honchkrow came in and just I did a whole shit ton of shit. But anyway, we started off with Marowak living a Scald from a Lantern and taking it out with an Earthquake. Coco then came back in, came back in, excuse me, and went for a U-turn and took out the Marowak. And then Xurkitree came out with the Electric Terrain up, one-shot the Chestnut with Thunderbolt, which in my opinion is pretty impressive. Yeah, granted it was +3 and in Electric Terrain and Stab. I guess that wasn't that impressive. But anyway, Scizor came out after that kill and killed the Xurkitree. So right there, like the 4 kills into this, it was literally back-to-back kills for both times. Marowak killed something, and then Coco killed the Marowak, and then a couple turns later, Xurkitree killed Chestnut, and then Scizor immediately killed Xurkitree. I kind of like that. Good job there by Mike to rebound his deaths with a kill. But this is something very interesting. Mega Gyarados came in after the Scizor killed the Xurkitree and went for a Flamethrower. We got a special Gyarados here. I will not be surprised if that is on Lucy's top 10 later. And then a couple plays later, we had Coco taking out the Skarmory with a Electrium Z. Then Porygon also taking out the Mega Gyarados with a Thunderbolt that leaves just Honchkrow and Neolego. I'm going to scroll down so you guys can see these stats. Move up one more. There. Where was I? Honchkrow and Neolego taking on Porygon 2, Coco, and Mudsdale at this point, and I thought that Coco was just going to clean house basically, but instead the Honchkrow kills Porygon 2 with Brave Bird. Coco comes in. Sucker Punch is able to one-shot the Coco as well. However, the Life Orb damage takes out the Honchkrow. So now it's Mudsdale, who's sitting at basically full health, I do believe, versus Neolego with Earthquake. Neolego with, I think, Rasnot not able to kill the Mudsdale, and Mudsdale takes out Neolego with Earthquake. And now you see that the record right here, that is updated. We have all these and everything. Let me know what you guys think about this, and on to the next battle for you guys. Alright guys, so here is the Buffalo Bouffalons versus the Inglorious Gliscors. This one, I don't really know what to say. I tried, but he just prepped better. Like, turn 1. Tyranitar with the Rocky MZ just destroying my Vikavolt, my Specs Vikavolt, which would have actually put in a lot of work against his team. But damn, that did a lot of damage. And then, like, switched into Lopunny, immediately switched right into, I don't remember what he switched into. But anyway, was not able to get my Power Punch. Like, look at Lopunny and look at his team. It was Drain Punch, Ice Punch, Power Punch, in return. It did a lot of damage to his entire team, but it was unable to pick up momentum. It did get 2 kills this game, though. After the Vikavolt died, I was able to get Mesprit and Mew in together. Mesprit Toxic Mew, which with Synchronize, Toxic Mesprit as well. I was able to whittle it down, did the ICMZ on it to finally allow it to die to Toxic. Actually, that's supposed to be a 1 as well. And then as soon as Mesprit died, Lucario then came in, went for extreme speed and took out Mew. And then a few turns later, I was able to get Lopunny in with the... Actually, we both switched. What happened? I honestly don't remember. Oh, I brought in Lopunny after Mew died. Went for a Power Punch on the Gliscor switching. And then he actually went for an extreme speed? No, that is not right. None of that is right. Somehow I got Lopunny in with Gliscor. I was able to do a Power Punch on the Gliscor as he Rock Polishes it, or Agilities, I don't remember what. And then he Swords Dance on my Ice Punch, and the Ice Punch was able to kill the Gliscor in 1 shot. I thought he was Yachi Berry, because he wasn't Poison Heal. I don't know what item he was. Lopunny then was able to hit the Starmie with a return that came in, but it was sashed, and then he went up for a Surf, which did do over half to my Lopunny, which is crucial because then Lopunny killed the Starmie with Power Punch. Lucario came in. The roll, I don't remember exactly what the roll was, but I was at 45%. The max roll was 46% onto my Lopunny, and Lucario's extreme speed killed Lopunny. So there's the second kill for Lucario. Then I was able to put in Jellicent, and he went into a Tyranitar, basically just sacked Tyranitar. It died due to some burn damage, and then Kieran was able to come in, go for Fusion Bolt twice, killing the Jellicent and the Minior, and Licky came out and just died to rocks. I really want to give good prep to Kid Icarus here. He actually put what was it? Endeavor or Facade? I honestly don't remember right off the top of my head, but that did a lot when he went for that. I'm pretty sure it was Endeavor, but it could be Facade. I honestly don't know. But anyway, he brought the Licky down to like 20%, which after Sandstorm damage, it did bring me down to about 7, so it might have been just like 16%, I don't know. I don't know what the exact percentage is, but that made me die to rocks, which probably lost me the game. So good job at Kid Icarus' part. He faces the Magikarps next week, as I face the Registealers next week, and that is not my record. I am 2-8 and -12, I believe. That could be wrong. Oh, what the heck? Alright, ignore that, but the right over here is right. I'm actually going to try to 2-8 and -12. Alright, well, this thing's screwy. But anyway, thank you. Oh, no, we still got stuff going on. Alright, so we have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Gainesville Goudreaux to battle for the first place in the Sun Conference. And it was a really good matchup. And very, very bad luck on Byron's part. I think he had the game won if it wasn't for this, like, really bad luck. Anyway, I would say that the MVP, as you can see, is 100% Tornadoes, and is still the MVP, and it's the reason why they lost. Alakazam did good cleanup work, or I wouldn't really call that the MVP. I say the MVP from the Goudreaux would be Meloetta, eating so many hits that he did. Yeah, let's just get right into it. We have, starting off, the Steelers did a very good job at wearing down Tapu Fini, which, as you can see, is the biggest wall that the Goudreaux have. At one point, Byron had Shark in against Meloetta, so obviously you would think Crunch is the first thing that he would go for. He went for Poison Jab on the Tapu Fini switch-in, doing a very good amount. Tornadoes came in, it's a huge Sludge Wave, and was able to take out the Tapu Fini very early on. A couple turns later, we had Crobat in on with, I don't remember what it was in, but it went for U-turn on the Shark switching? No, what happened was Shark switching on the Meloetta on a U-turn. Crobat came in, went for a U-turn of his own, and took out the Shark. I think that's how it happened. But anyway, then Altaria and Crocodile comes in, and you'd think that Altaria would have the advantage there, but nope. Crocodile had Z Iron Tail, I want to say. It was definitely Stellium Z, and took out Altaria one shot. And here's the reason why Byron lost. As soon as the Altaria came in, Tornadoes came in, goes for a Hurricane, misses the first one. Whatever. Crocodile goes for knockoff, does a very good amount, but doesn't really do as much because we see that it's a Z move. Goes for another Hurricane. Missed again. The second knockoff that came from Crocodile brought the Tornadoes down to, I want to say, 15%. So then Byron said, screw it, I'm going for my Z move, and did take out the Crocodile, but that did mean that Tornadoes now had to be switching to get their Regenerator back. And I do believe that does play in factor, because Meloetta then came in, and then went for a couple Side Shocks to take out the Weezing, eventually, so that's where they get their first kill from. Then Tornadoes came in, actually went for a Dark Pulse, and didn't even kill. I think it was the Meloetta was like 10%, maybe a little bit more, but it was definitely really low, and at first Dark Pulse did not kill. Had to go for 2. Luckily it was a flinch, or else Tornadoes would have been dead earlier. Which allowed Alakazam to come in, goes for a Psychic on the Tornadoes, but Delmise is obviously not going to be taking 2 Psychics. It did take 1, but not 2. Then Tornadoes came in. I want to say that it, no, Zeraora came in as soon as the Delmise died, and then switched out in Tornadoes with the Como. Tornadoes was able to take out the Como, however, he went for 2. The first one missed, which allowed Como to whittle down Tornadoes to 30%, which means after the Tornadoes killed the Como with Hurricane, was not able to live the Psychic with Alakazam. Or else that would have been an entirely different game. I do believe if the Tornadoes would have lived, I think he would have been able to kill the Mega Alakazam, and that would have allowed Zeraora to 1v1 the Crobat. So I think if it wasn't for that last miss against Como, Zeraora would have been able to win for the Goudreaux, the Steelers. But since that happened, the Goudreaux win yet again, another win for them. They are now 8-2 and 17, top in the conference. Yeah, the top in the conference. I do believe 3rd overall. But yeah, that's it. All right, I'll see you guys for the next battle. Alright guys, I hope that you can hear me this time. I am not at my usual place, I am actually at home. for the holidays. It is Friday before Easter, and we have this battle here against the Indianapolis Infernapes taking on the Reading Rapidashes. Coach Polly versus Coach Reading Rapidash, or Gamer Cuco, excuse me. Where we have Terrakion, Ash Greninja, Durant, Incineroar, Gligar, and Manectric taking on Sock, Snorlax, Haxorus, Charizard, Mega Sableye, and Rhyperior. A very, very quick battle. Actually, give me a second. I might be able to tell you how many turns it was. 29 turns it was. And as you can see, it was just utter dominance by the Infernapes. Mainly because of just one mon, and that was because of the Terrakion, really. Let's just get started right into it. Turn 1, we have Mega Manectric, not Mega Manectric, just regular Manectric taking on Rhyperior to start the match, where Manectric goes for a hidden powered grass. Turn 1, taking out the Rhyperior. That was a pretty good one. I think the Polly said that the Manectric was Specs, so obviously doing a lot more damage this time, so that's good. Taking him out really early on. A lot of back and forth action between then and the next kill, until Charizard, I do believe, was in front of the Durant. Obviously the Durant doesn't want to take a Flamethrower, switches out into Incineroar, and Z Focus Blast, I want to say, but anyway, it was a fighting type move, doing a lot of damage to Incineroar, not killing it, but the very next turn, Zard goes for the Air Slash and takes out the Incineroar. But then after that, immediately after that, Terrakion comes in and it is scarfed into Stone Edge, and from the turns earlier, Haxorus does go down too, and even Suck, so 3 kills in a row, giving the Infernapes a 5-2 lead. And then finally the Snorlax was able to live and paralyze the Terrakion. Polly did not want to risk that at all, so a bunch more switching happens, and then finally Durant, I do believe, goes for just 1 Hone's Claws. Did he go for 2? Let me check real quick. He only went for 1 Hone Claws in front of something, I don't remember what, and was able to kill both the Snorlax and the Mega Sableye with Iron Head, one-shotting them both at where they were. So that gives Polly a 5-0 win, which is much needed in the playoff race. He is way behind, and the battle next week could very well guarantee the winner of next week between the Beedrills and the Infernapes a playoff spot. But anyway, we'll get to that at the end of this video. Alright, next battle is right now. Alrighty guys, so we are here for the Uprising Flygons taking on the Philadelphia Starmies, and I'm sorry buddy, I was cheering for you, I really was, I always cheer for you. But my friend, your plan did not work out at all, as you guys can see. I would say that the MVP for both teams, for the Flygons, I would definitely say Shaman. I guess Shaman was definitely a problem that Chris was not expecting. It was easy to see that he was not expecting the Shaman to do as much work as Shaman did. And for the Starmies, I would say the Hippo, just because it was the reason why Scolipede died. It didn't kill Scolipede, but it was the reason why it did die. So I would say for both teams, those are the 2 MVPs. Very, very quick game, 20 turns. So let's break it down a little bit. Show why I thought those were the 2 MVPs. Turn 1, we led with Buzzwole and Shaman, and right off the bat, Shaman goes for an Air Slash and kills Buzzwole turn 1. And then Chris thought that Necrozma can eat a Seed Bomb. Or Seed Flare, excuse me. So he went for a Calm Mind. It did about 60-70%. Forces them to switch. Now Necrozma's 30% for the rest of the game. Out into Leavanny, trying to get his webs up. And Shaman destroys the Levani. Yeah, that. So 3 turns in, Chris is already losing 4-0, and now he's probably struggling. One of his mons, his setup mons, is at 30%. He's probably struggling. What do I do? What do I do? I don't know. This has nothing to do with experience, what Chris is going through at this moment. I've done it so many times. I bet many of you have done it so many times too. Like, your plan is just out the window. Now, what the fuck do you do? And for Chris, honestly, dude, basically nothing you could have done. But anyway, from there on out, Empoleon actually came out as well. Well, not as well. While Empoleon came out, at one point, was Defiant. With the webs up, it gave himself a +2 in attack, which we saw Drill Peck, we saw Aqua Jet. I think we saw Waterfall? I'm not really sure, but we definitely saw Defog. I was gonna say Stealth Rocks, but I think it was Defog. And it was pretty good. It unfortunately didn't get a kill. The only mon on Necro's team that did not get a kill so far this season, and it still didn't at the point. But Scolipede came out with like Vaporeon, I think. I don't know. I don't really remember. But anyway, Scolipede was able to Swords Dance a few times, got hit with a Skull, got hit with an Earthquake, and just eventually killed Excadrill and Hippowdon at some points. Killed Hippowdon, both of them with Earthquake. But the second Earthquake is the one that killed Scolipede with his own Life Orb damage. That's the reason why Chris does not have any kills on his team. So, yeah, at that point it was Celesteela, Scolipede, Shaman, Zygarde, Empoleon, and Regirock. All of that versus, at that point, a Necrozma at about 30%. And a Vaporeon, I don't know, 40% poisoned. Everything was looking against Chris, and everything bad happened to Chris. Flygowns throughout, I was gonna say Celesteela, but it was Zygarde, 50%. Goes for an Outrage just once, hit him twice. And that was the end of the game. Nothing Chris could have done at all. Just his plan went out the window. So, hopefully next week against the Heracross, you can turn it around. That'd be great. Flygowns are facing against the Lycanrocs, who are just still in playoff position, holding tight to that. Hopefully they can get it through. But anyway, that will do it for this battle. I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, so now we have the Holland. Oops, I don't know why that's up there. Alright, fix that. We have the Holland Heracross taking on the Charlotte Beedrills. And I just realized I spelled Charlotte wrong. My oh my, this is very unprofessional of me. Charlotte. But anyway, we have the worst kind of cancer. The kind that I actually will come out and say I just don't like watching it. And I'm very glad that Cody was the one fighting this guy, or else I would have just lost it. And he's actually in good spirits too. He was like, oh man, I should have put taunt on something. You told me to. I did tell you, Cody. I did. But anyway, very, very not long. I think it was 50. I forgot to write how long it was. But it was a medium-sized match, mainly because of the MVP of the matchup, which is definitely Type Null and Manaphy. So turn 1, we started off with Mega Manectric versus Ribombee. Turn 1 Overheat. Turn 1 Focus Sash. Turn 1 Quiver Dance. So then after that first turn, Beedrills decided to prioritize Sticky Webs over getting some damage on the Manectric. So Sticky Webs did go down, Manectric went for Full Switch and killed the Ribombee second turn, which is pretty good since Ribombee is a sweeper that could definitely put in a lot of work. After the Volt Switch, Cody decided to go out into Armaldo as the Beedrills went out into Seeking. I believe it was Assault Fest Armaldo. I'm not really sure what the calc was, but one Scald only did about 44%, I would say, give or take, which allowed Armaldo to just rapid spin on command. Excuse me, as I get the hiccups again. And he would have lived another one and would have gotten off a nice X-Scissor if it wasn't for the Rocky helmet that was on the Slowking. Because after, what was I trying to say? After the Rocky helmet, the health of Armaldo went down to about, I don't know, 40 something, which allowed the second Scald to come out and kill the Armaldo. Turn 4, I want to say we're at. And then a lot of back and forth action. There was at one point Blissey and Sylveon were at the same time. A very nice prep by Cody here, as he had Mirror Coat on the Sylveon. So then, as he went for Mirror Coat, the Blissey went for Stealth Rocks, which bounced it back. It obviously didn't stop Blissey from putting up Rocks later on, because the very next turn, Rocks did come up, but that did allow Manaphy to get a very free switch in. And this Manaphy just set up in front of Blissey very nicely. I gave him this idea, so I am taking responsibility for this. Screw you, Cody. I am taking responsibility for this. We had, what was it? Rain Dance, Surf, Rest. I want to say it was Toxic. Maybe he made his fourth move, but I told him, dude, you can set up on that Blissey all day long, and he did. He took a couple Seismic Toss here and there and got up to ×6, basically full health, and he killed a bunch of things. Now let me list it off because I don't remember off the top of my head. It was Pinsir first, second I want to say was Blissey, and third he lived in Outrage and killed Garchomp with it. So then it looked like he might have been able to do pretty well. But after the Outrage, Manaphy was at about, gosh, what were you at? What were you at, Ben? 30 something? 35? So then Slowking came in and he went for a Dragon Tail, as Manaphy did go for Rest. At that time, rain did end, so hydration didn't kick in. It didn't really matter because Dragon Tail did bring the Manaphy out, right out into Excelgor. Obviously not wanting the type Null to come in and take any damage, Slowking was just being the badass there and just took a Savage Spin out from the Excelgor. And then it happened. The damn, I'm just trying to think of that move. I'm having a huge brain fart right now. Swords Dance, Shadow Claw, Rest, Sleep Talk set. Cody didn't have anything. He tried setting up with the Manaphy, which, if he got lucky enough, would have been able to kill it if the type Null went for a Rest at a certain point. But nope, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Was killed the 5 Mons remaining. It was 5-on-1 too, and type Null just killed it. I will openly say I am not a fan of this kind of playstyle, but it got him the win, so I really can't say anything bad against it. So Cody is still in the lead this season. Next season, I promised Jake I would change it. This season is differential first, then head-to-head. Next season will be head-to-head, then differential. Some of you guys might not like that, especially right now Pearl, but that's how I started with this season. That's how I'm going to finish with this season. Next season will be better. Speaking of next season, there will be an announcement coming up after the playoffs. Kind of teasing you guys a little bit. I already made the document for everything. Select few already know. Please don't let anyone else know. Spoil it for everybody. Don't spoil it for everybody. Alright. On to the next battle. Alright guys, so here we are for what I believe to be the last battle of week number 10. Now I know that there's still about 4 more battles to go, but unfortunately those are most likely to be forfeits. If something happens between now and the time I wake up, then there's going to be another part of this. but if not, then you'll be seeing Lucy as soon as this happens. Unfortunately, some people didn't want to battle this week, which is unfortunate, but whatever, that's their loss. Well, some people's losses. But anyway, we have the Twente Tentacles taking on the Miami Magikarps. Twente is kind of on a roll lately, and as you can see, he wins again. Which now puts him at, I'm going to say positive differential. He just worked hard enough to call a 0 a positive differential. He is 6-4-0. Miami Magikarps is 3-7 and -7, unfortunately. I cannot confirm this yet, but I do believe that means he's out of playoff contention. But we will see during the doc updates and everything. But anyway, let's just start off with the match. There were about 16 turns where it was just back and forth, just trying to get as much damage off as they can. A lot of chip damage here and there, but eventually we have Nidoqueen and Scrafty in at the same time. Scrafty came in on a Nidoqueen's Earth Power and then lived a Sludge Wave thereafter, living on 3%, and an Ice Punch goes on to Nidoqueen. But after the Ice Punch, the Scrafty did die to its own Life Orb, making it 6-5 in favor of the Magikarps. But as soon as that happened, the Beedrill came out, goes for a Drill Run, and takes out the Nidoqueen. The turn after, I do believe, I don't remember who, but Beedrill is forced to switch out into Druddigon, and Druddigon does go for the Stealth Rocks as the Gardevoir comes out as well. Gardevoir goes for the Psychic and is able to take it out. The very next turn, Beedrill comes in, goes for Poison Jab, and is able to take out the Gardevoir, which does give the Beedrill the second kill of the game. Oh, looks like I forgot one, but anyway, Victini does go for a V-Create, I do believe, on an incoming Volcanion. Obviously 4 times resisted, obviously not going to do anything. I do believe both of these mons were Scarfed, but because of the V-Create, Scarfed Volcanion now outspeeds Scarfed Victini. So Volcanion does go for the Steam Eruption and does in fact take out the Victini. And then all we're left were the Magikarps were Sceptile, Gyarados, and Conkeldurr. And there's a freaking Comfey over there. None of them are able to do anything. The closest that the Magikarps got was, between the 3 of them, was Sceptile, doing about 70% with Leaf Storm, but obviously after the Leaf Storm, it's not going to do much at all. So, and obviously Treant just heals everything up for them. So yeah, the Comfey is able to take out the last 3, causing the Comfey to be MVP of the week for the Tentacles. So yeah, there's that. I really got nothing else for you guys on this battle, so I was over to Lucy for the top plays of the week. Then we're gonna go over to the Ducks. Lucy?
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Loosey Goosey, and welcome back to Top Plays of the Week for the PSBL. We are back, and I've got our top 5 plays of the week. We're starting it off with number 5, of course, with It's Byron versus Mandy the Turtle, the Pittsburgh Reggie Steelers going up against the Gainesville Grudras. And Byron makes a series of really good plays right here to get himself momentum in the match. So you see, he's got his Zero Aura up against Affinity. Affinity never wants to stay in this situation. Some viable switch-ins right here would be the Coma-O and the Crocodile. Of course, don't want to Volt Switch on the Crocodile. You'll get, obviously you can't Volt Switch out on that. So Byron's going to make a really nice double out into Tornadus Therian and gets the Coma-O prediction. So really nice there. Obviously Coma-O can't stay in, take a Hurricane. It's not super bulky, so Mandy's going to make the play to go back into her Tapu Fini. He's going to hit the Hurricane, get a lot of crucial damage off on that Fini, and proceed to follow it up with the Sludge Wave, killing off the Tapu Fini. Really huge for Byron in this match. Ended up killing off a really important, Pokemon to get rid of. And then later in the match, if I can find it, we'll see if I can get there. He's going to be up against the Crocodile. Unfortunately, this Tornadus wasn't trained very well. It missed, I think, 3 Hurricanes in this match, so pretty unfortunate. But you'll see the knockoff isn't knocking off an item, and that's because it's flying EMZ, and he is able to get the kill on the Crocodile. I believe he also comes back in later in the match and possibly misses another Hurricane, but I don't remember if he gets a kill with it. He does kill the Meloetta with Dark Pulse, which is pretty cool as well, but that main good play, I think, was the double out into Torn, which made, you know, a really good play for him to kill off the Tapu Fini. So that is going to be the 5th play of the week, and we'll move on to number 4. Coming in at the number 4 spot, we've got my favorite coach in the PSBL, Cheshire Orb 48, also known as Polly, going up against Gamer Geeko, and turn 1 was a beautiful prediction by Polly in prep. He made himself have a Specs, HP Grass, Manectric, led it turn 1, expecting the Rhyperior, and it pays off right here. The Rhyperior comes in, and Polly's going to click that HP Grass and get the kill turn 1. Now, it's just one play, which is really huge because it actually opens up a lot of things for this game. Polly had ways to answer Rhyperior, but with that really huge defense, it's kind of difficult to even take it down with a close combat from Terrakion, and just that HP Grass was absolutely beautiful and able to take down the Rhyperior. Turn 1 of the match. The rest of this match was really interesting with the Durant setting up at the end and a bunch of cool stuff happening, but I felt like this play really deserved a spot on the list, and so I gave it the number 4 spot. Alrighty guys, for our number 3 spot, we have Nakora going up against Devil's Crime, and this was a pretty interesting game to watch. And the Shaman set was just absolutely crazy. So I believe it was turn 1. The Buzzwole is led up against the Shaman. And it's a little known fact that Shaman does get flying coverage. It gets Air Slash, which is really cool. And Nakora is going to reveal that cool tech right here. Go for the Air Slash on the Buzzwole, getting the turn 1 KO. It also gets some good damage off on this Necrozma, which is amazing. As the Necrozma goes for Calm Mind. Obviously not living a Life Orb Seed Flare. After a +1 status boost, goes out into his Leavanny. I'm not sure what Curse was thinking here, but, you know, he does get his webs up, which is cool, and the Shaman is going to pick up another kill on Leavanny, which is crazy. Now, Shaman also misses the Seed Flare right here on the Hippowdon. If it hit it, that would have been a lot of damage, might have even killed, which is kind of crazy, but Shaman put in a lot of work at the beginning, and I just felt like this really deserved a spot on the list. Air Slash on Shaman isn't super common, and picking up 2 kills in the first 3 turns of the match is absolutely amazing, so great job to Nakora, earning the number 3 spot on the list. Alrighty guys, coming in at the number 2 spot, we've got Comfey going up against the Miami Magikarps. This match has been really interesting. Comfey's put in a little bit of work before this with Leech Seed and Synthesis, which is really cool, but yeah, Comfey really put in the work at the end of this match here. So you see Sceptile up against this Volcanion. Volcanion doesn't want to take a Leaf Storm, but he's going to stay in, or actually he is going to Hard Surge out into the Comfey to take the Leaf Storm. He does live it, and he will be able to Draining Kiss up. Jake the Cows predicts that though, goes out and Gyarados. Hopefully he can live too. Nope, he cannot. Comfey is really strong, gets a lot of health back, and is going to go up to 75%. And Big Tucker is actually going to pick up a little mini sweep here at the end of the game, getting a lot of health back to the point where it can live a hit from the Mega Sceptile, and then it will also live a hit from the Conkeldurr after it gets his health back. So really cool to see this Comfey sweep at the end of the game. Big Tucker's put in a lot of work with it this season, and it's just really awesome to see an underused mon like this put in work in the Draft League community. So Comfey gonna pick up the 3 kill sweep at the end of the game. Really interesting to watch, and we'll move on to the number 1 play. And in the number 1 spot, we've got Pearl going up against Cody. Really interesting match. Looked like Cody had it in the bag with Tailglow Manaphy. He switched that at one point. I think it was because of paralysis or something along those lines, and he didn't go for Rain Dance to heal up. So Pearl's looking in a pretty bad position right here, down 2-5, and Pearl is going to actually, I believe, lose his, he does lose his Slowking, so down to 1-5 with Type Null left in the game, and this is just crazy. Type Null against the world, goes for Swords Dance here, and this is going to be a lot of turns, so I might have to turn it on fast, because this Type Null is going to 1v5 the rest of Cody's team with the combination of Rest, Sleep, Talk, Swords Dance, and I don't remember what the attacking move was. I believe it was like some sort of normal type move. But anyways, you can see it's eating all of these hits. It's got the Eviolite, so it's able to eat a lot. And now that it's +6 attack, there's nothing that really wants to take hits, so it's Shadow Claw that is its attacking move, which will hit everything for neutral, I believe, on this team. Goes for Rest, and it's just going to be a lot of turns in a row of this type null going up against the world. So I felt like bringing this set, I've seen Pro bring it a couple of times before and it's worked out for him, but it definitely worked out in this match. He was able to use it pretty well, and so I gave it the #1 spot of the week. Picking up 5 kills is really cool, especially on a sweep with an underused mod like this. So a lot of cool mods in the top of the top plays of the week, which is really nice to see. I'm surprised Manetra couldn't kill it here, but there was a chance, or there wasn't a chance for it to kill, I don't think, but there's a chance for paralysis and then like a pair of hacks or something like that to win the game. But Pearl got a little bit unlucky actually with his sleep talks and never really rolled the Shadow Claw. I think he might on this turn. No, he's gonna wake up. But anyways, yeah, this isn't just one play that might happen, but I guess setting up and proceeding to sweep the rest of the team is pretty interesting. So I believe it takes a couple more turns, but you guys can see the Salamence will go down. I believe on this turn the Manetric does go down. Nope, he gets the Swords Dance. Man, Pearl did get really unlucky on his Sleep Talk rolls, but we'll see. He wakes up here, goes for Shadow Claw. That's a dead Aselgor, and Sylveon's going to come out, not going to be able to pick up a kill, and Pearl will proceed to sweep the rest of the team. So really interesting game right here, and I felt like it definitely deserved the #1 spot on top plays. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy top plays of the week. It's really interesting, and that is going to do it for me here. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy, and we'll head on to the rest of the recap.
Alright, so now we are finally finished with week 10, and I did a pretty good job this week, even with the unpredictability of the, what am I trying to say, forfeits here. I went 8-3 last week, making my overall average a 58-41, but that is not why we are at this page at the moment. I don't know why I started with that. I just did. I was pretty proud of myself. 8-3, not bad. Anyway, let's start over at the Moon Conference, because that is what we are going to be talking about for a little bit before we move on. Actually, if that's the case, I'm going to start over in the Sun Conference, where we have the Bouffalons still 2-8, unfortunately -12 as well. Just done. We're just done. Magikarps, the Kartanas, and the Illusions, all 3-7, separated by differential. Tentacruels, look at you, knocking on the door still. With the Gliscors and the Registealers and the Metagross, it is a very, very tight race, separated by 11 differential points. Ninetales and the Coilers are separated by just 3 differential points, and the Goodras are still up there at 8-2 and 17. Wow, that's pretty good. But over to the debate one. Well, not the debate, but one I need to talk about a little bit, where we have the Royals sitting at 2-8 as well, -16, and we also have the Spindas, the Rapidashes, and the Starmies 3-7, still fighting for the playoff spot. 3 weeks to go, 2 games back from the 6th seed. Because I have the hiccups, I always do when I'm starting to record. The Infernape's the only 4-6 in the entire league. Congratulations to you, Polly. 4-6 and -6. We have the Charlotte Beedrills, the Holland Heracross, and the Rocky Mountain Lycanrocs, 5-5, separated by a lot of differential points, 15 differential points. The Dallas Dragons have been disqualified. For those of you who I do not know, which is living under a rock, he just left the league. Said he was bored of everything, so he just wanted to leave. Understandable, I did the same thing in UPL. Well, I didn't leave because I was bored. I left because of school. So, touche to you. But anyway, he has been disqualified. I am just keeping it at right here as of now, just because I like keeping things behind a little bit, the way I like to, because I'm the only one that basically edits the doc, other than their own team pages. So next week he'll be down in 11th, disqualified, and whatnot. Next up we have the Arcanines, who have been red hot. 8-2 and 25. The Uprising Flygons at 9-1 and 30. Let's go over to the playoff hopes, and we do have one team out, unfortunately, and that team is the Buffalo Bouffalons. All these teams are still fighting for, well, all of these teams can be just gone next week. I think these teams right here can just be gone next week and out into the out section. So right now this is the current round 1. If playoffs ended today, actually that is false because JV did lose. I am going to update this again after next week. I just like keeping everything like this for right now. But anyway, yeah. So let's go over to the league leaders right now, where we have Type Null. I wanted to draft this thing next season, but now I don't. Every time I say Type Null, yeah. 9-3. Volcarona and Kiram B both at 12-4. Garchomp is at 10-3. Azumarill is at 14-4. Scolipede 11-3. Dragonite is 22-5. Comfey is up here. Hello, Comfey. 9-2. Alakazam and Gardevoir only died once and killed X amount of Mons. We do have a tie for first place on defensive, separated by just burn and poison damage. For next season, I can already confirm that this will be an actual number for defensive league leaders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add up your hits taken plus a fraction of your burn and poison damage, plus a fraction of hazard, plus a fraction of other damages such as Leech Seed or, what am I trying to say? Oh my, weather damage. And all of that divided by your death total. That will be an actual number, and the highest number will be the defensive MVP at the end of the season. So there. But right now, we're just going by hits taken, followed by deaths. Followed by burn damage, followed by death. That is just the season alone. Next season will be an actual number. So yeah, here's the defensive league leaders. Umbreon and Alomola 27, Avalugg at 28, Porygon 2 at 30, one up a few spots, Blissey and Pugamuku at 35, Cresselia at 44, Zapdos at 44, Cresselia is actually at 41, and again at the tie right there. With not a lot of teams battling, we have Hawlucha, Volcarona, Kiram B, and Gardevoir each have 12 kills apiece. Gardevoir is supposed to be way down. Oh no, Gardevoir. Oh whoa. I can see where this is misleading. Well, as of right now, well, you guys are gonna be saying how I edit the doc. Alright, so no 12 there. So, what are you guys looking forward to the most in PSBL? Actually, I know exactly what it is. It is Hitmontop, sitting at the same amount. 12 and 6, and the spin disc. My B. What I was trying to say was, what are you guys looking forward to most about Season 4? Obviously, I'm not going to release what it is until the end of Season 3, but, yeah, that's... What are you guys looking forward to? New teams? New rivals? New divisions? What? Well, anyway, Hitmonlee, Hawlucha, Gardevoir, Hitmonlee, Hawlucha, Volcarona, and Kiram B, all separated by death totals. Also, Gardevoir, Lucario, Tornadus T is a new one up here, and Celesteela, I almost said Cresselia. They're at 13, separated by deaths as well. Azumarill is leading those packs by 14, but Dragonite is leading everything still with 22. Wanted to go over to the schedule, where we have, again, I am sitting at 58-41, doing pretty well so far. Kartanas versus the Royals. I do believe that the Kartanas are going to pull off the win. We do have Ninetales versus the Tentacools. It's going to be a really good battle. Tentacools have been on fire, but unfortunately Ninetales, I do believe, is going to be able to win. Magikarp versus Gliscors. I'm going to say the Gliscors are going to win. Registeelers versus Bouffalants, and I'm going to say the Registeelers are going to pick up their first win over the Bouffalants in both UPL, SML, and PSBL. Yeah, you heard that right. I am undefeated against Bayern. Don't ask me how. I just am. Coilers versus the Goodras. I'm going to say the Coilers. Metagross versus the Illusions. I'm going to say the Metagross. Hopefully Bryce does show up this week. Dragons versus the Rapidash. I'm going to say that the Dragons are going to win that one. It's going to be a very... Oh, no, excuse me. That one I'm going to skip for right now. I'm going to say the Infernapes versus the Beedrills. I'm going to say the Infernapes. I do believe that there's going to be a secret tech. I'm not going to say what. There's one reason. I'm not going to say secret tech. That's probably the wrong thing to say. But there is something about the Infernapes that I like that just destroys the Beedrills team. So I'm going to go in the Infernapes to win this one. Starmie's versus the Heracross. I'm going to say that the Heracross. I really like Cody's team. Lycanrocs versus the Flygons. I'm going to say the Flygons. That's going to be a very good matchup. And Arcanines versus the Spindas. The Battle of Team 64s. I'm going to say the Arcanines. They've been just the hottest team out there. And can't wait to see that one. I am going to be putting an X through all the Dragons battles. Because I don't exactly know what we're going to be doing. But... it's gonna mess everything up. So I think it's just easier for me if I just exit out the rest of his games and just go from there. Yeah, but that's it. Thank you for Lucy for doing the top plays yet again. I hope you guys enjoyed them, and I'll see you guys for next week. Have a good one. Peace.